Bam, 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 bam.
Welcome.
One person here.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We do not have our intro because, our streaming services are being a little bit finicky today,
Extra.
but that is perfectly fine. I am your host, but the least most, the bald and the beautiful, coming to you from some frat dude's basement, Rhodes. To my perpetual right is the ever classy, the ever brown and beautiful Rico.
I'm so brave.
And below me, the runner-up for the Tom Brady as a frat boy look-alike challenge.
He came in 15th place. He was so close.
I told you this before. I would be lucky to be considered, to even just be considered in the same sentence as Tom Brady. Lucky, blessed, one might say. Blessed,
forever blessed.
Yeah. All right, Tom. If you watch this, hit me up.
I know you're watching, Tom. Is that you?
Listen.
Yeah, we know he's a fervent listener of the podcast.
Listen here, Tom. All right, hit me up.
Underqualified and overcompensated.
By definition,
Tom Brady.
The definition of such.
It's pretty apropos. Pretty spot on the head. So, to start off, the amount of love that we've been getting for the podcast
ridiculous.
in the past week is obscene. Just purely by doing advertisement for our upcoming interview with Libertarian presidential candidate Jo Jorgensen.
Mm-hmm.
What? Who's going to be on this podcast?
Right? Yeah, she's going to be on next Saturday.
I can't believe she agreed to that. That's awesome.
It's so lit. She's going to regret it so much, but it's going to be awesome.
Well, we could be the official podcast of the White House after this. She's going to let us out of our contracts. We're going to go to Washington.
She can do that. Hey, why have one press secretary when you can have 3?
Why would you do that? Could you imagine? Oh, you think that this administration's that stuff, whatever they call that press conferences are entertaining?
It'd be great.
You put the three of us up there?
Oh, the shit that we talked about when we started this podcast, that's what would happen. It would be Rico standing at the podium, us standing beside him, and Rico addressing questions. And then all of a sudden, someone in the back asking something ornery and like totally off cuff. And me and Firth just coming around Rico and going, hey, Steven. Shut the fuck up, Steven.
Steven, Steven, I will kick you out right now.
Cody, what was the guy's name when we were throwing this around? What was the dude's name who for like 16 hours, you and I just sat around and we're like, hey, you.
What was it? I can't remember.
Like, that's where this podcast was born.
That
was in a Saha field in the middle of August. And we brought our truck up for a minute, and then we were told to get fucked. And then we brought our truck back down.
Hey, you can't have shelter.
Yeah. Is it hot out here? Yeah, it's really hot out here. Put your top back on.
Meanwhile,
what are you afraid of rain? It's only Germany.
The one time I did it, it was cold and rainy. I went and bought a fucking Coleman tent for me and the dude that was out there. And the captain that came out on duty that night, he was like, "Is this allowed?" I was like, "Sir, I don't know, but we're freaking cold and wet." He was like, "I'll allow it."
Let's have that. Because I was like, "Oh, can we have our tents for shade?" And they're like, "No." I was like, "What?"
There's a hard stand right there. All right.
The hard stand wasn't even in view of where we had to be.
No. And it's also the size of a phone booth. So just so you know.
With no windows.
So phone booths used to be a thing. There used to be public phones you could use when you didn't have cell phones.
Where you get change if you were to go fight crime.
About 25 cents.
Also true. 25 cents. It was later increased to 35 cents.
Get out.
Super inconvenient.
Yes, you had to add a quarter and a dime. And then
you could just do 1-800-COLLECT and hope the other person accepts the purchase.
No. Here's what
no. You leave the message real quick when it asks your name.
100%.
You know the rule.
100%.
State your name and you go, Mom, I'm on my way home.
Yes.
Mom in jail.
That never happened. But that's how I used to get picked up from track practice. I would call my mom 1-800-COLLECT, and they'd be like, you have a 1-800-COLLECT call from, and I'd go, Mom, I'm done, come pick me up, click. And then they wouldn't accept charges, and everybody knew what was going on.
Scamming the system.
And then,
yes,
payphones went away.
I'm on a payphone. Sorry.
Well, because when you step inside of a payphone, did you really want to be inside of that payphone?
No.
We lost one viewer because we're talking about
Idaho,
payphones.
it smelled bad. I could imagine in the
no one cares about
payphones. Jersey how bad your telephone booths were.
Rico, shut up. Right now, we're having a conversation. All right. All right. Could you imagine in 2020 with payphones and Corona? They'd be okay.
Like
what you need to do is you step in and you just disinfect everything. And then you make your, probably by now, like $1.06 or something like that because of taxes.
To make a phone call.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to wipe it down for the next person and keep your mask on so that no one can understand you when you talk like Shredder from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, you're going to catch syphilis.
On the dimension of the
you're going to catch syphilis from being inside of the phone booth.
Well,
but
I mean,
you're not going to get coronavirus.
Also, don't rub the receiver on your crotch. That'll help.
That's how I dial.
Also, as a seamless segue, we have a presidential candidate coming up on our podcast next week.
Okay, right? Now we're going to get back on task after we've lost fucking 75% of our viewers. Because you guys want to bullshit about payphones.
Who doesn't remember payphones? Remember payphones.
Our entire audience.
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Payphones forever.
Really?
What?
So, guys, I got a new product here. This is a HDMI video capture, and Elgato sells one for $279. I got this off Amazon for $30.
So I don't understand what you're selling here, Rico. Are you selling Amazon? Are you selling the HDMI capture?
I'm selling whoever's going to pay me.
Also,
I'm also kicking my daughter out.
You have I hear her in the background. Rico!
I'm coming back.
We have such a high production value.
What's on his chair?
A sweater?
Look at the scarf for his chair.
You leave my scarf alone. My seat gets cold.
Just in case the chair gets cold.
Your shoulders.
What am I looking at?
It's his wife's.
No, it's actually mine.
Why are you wearing that liberal arts college girl sweater?
Right?
Scarf.
Okay, Handmaiden's Tale. All right, whatever you say. All right, Offred or whatever her name is. Offred?
I don't know.
Me neither.
Kinney. So
Hulu's not. Hulu's
I'm
won't
the
be
only one watching right now.
I don't know what is going on here.
We have 0 viewers.
We got one. It could be one of us.
It's Cody.
So we lost all our viewers because you want to bullshit about payphones.
How many did we have?
3.
Exactly. It's because no one advertised this. Even I didn't know we were doing this garbage.
We do it every week.
Saturday.
I have important things to do on Saturday.
So important. We got so much.
That'll go very well over on the audio portion of this podcast.
Did the show stop?
And then laughing.
Just so you audio listeners know, Firth reached
get back to it.
Wine glass.
No, we don't need to learn about your video capture.
So this is a big deal because the market is like overpriced right now with a lot of gouging. This thing's $30 for the Joe episode, the Dr. Joe Jorgensen episode. I'm going to run a different camera, higher quality. I want everybody to see my pores.
So Rico's going to be the only one with studio level quality.
Yeah, right.
And me and Firth are going to look like we're hostage victims for Al Qaeda.
First of all, Cody, yes to Rico. Negative. You look like you know what you're doing. I, on the other hand, look like I'm being kept by Al Qaeda in like a nice place.
I'm gonna send you some lights.
You need to go and spend $20 on an external fucking webcam.
Well, no, because I don't know where I'm going to put everything yet. I know where I want my stuff, but I don't know how it's going to look.
I had my office set up the day I got my shit.
It's literally the first thing you do.
But I'm building my house though. I'm coming from the barracks. Yes. I'm building it, Rico, you son of a bitch. Like, you get that? Like, I'm building I'm putting stuff in the house little by little. So we still don't have a dining room table. We still have nothing on the second floor. We are sleeping on a couch.
The government couch, or
no. We bought a couch bed
because that government couch is hard to sleep on.
No, I'm not.
With a
everybody told me.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Everybody said, everyone's like, don't get the government housing furniture. So when I went to housing, they were like, oh, do you want furniture in the house or no? And I was like, no, we're not. We're gonna fill it with our own furniture. And they're like, oh, good.
Because it sucks.
Good, great.
I love how my cat is just bathing himself in the background.
Yeah. No shame. Bullet has no shame. So,
nope. This is what I'm focused on. Keep talking, Cody.
So, as we said earlier, Joe Jorgensen on next Saturday. 10 o'clock Central Standard Time.
All I heard was Joe Jorgensen bathing herself. I don't understand.
And that's how we just lost the interview. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So, we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's do a quick recap, right? So, the Chaz thing has exploded.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you guys were telling me about last week. It's changed its name, correct?
So now it's Chap or something. They're shooting around different names.
I've seen Chaz.
Yeah, it's the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Some people are wanting to change the name from Capitol Hill to something else because
it's something with Chap. I think it might be.
Yeah, it's something else. I'm not sure. All I know is that it is a shit show on fire. It's funny, and the hypocrisy that goes along with it is hilarious because they sequester off these 6 blocks.
Yeah.
And they took over the police precinct and all sorts of stuff. Okay, cool. I understand what you're trying to do, right? They're not looting. They're not doing any of that stuff. They got an agreement from the business owners in the neighborhood.
Depends who you talk to. It depends what news.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one or two people in there that are like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like a majority. So like they didn't take it over, took it over. It was like a peaceful thing. They took it over. But it has then evolved from that to where the warlord of the fucking Chaz is handing out AK-47s and AR-15s to the people who have zero firearms training and then having them stand at the border of their fucking thing. So the first thing they did was create a border wall.
What's the movie where he's clinking the bottles together? What is it?
Warriors come
out and play. Like, we're there. Where is Snake Plissken? That is all I am asking about. We are in Warriors and Escape from LA, Escape from New York territory. I just want someone to just do that. Just put bottles on their fingers and have some CNN reporter reporting from right in front of the Chaz, and just some guy come behind him and just be like, Warriors!
Well, apparently these guys don't know how to use the weapons. There's been stories of
Uber drivers pulling up.
Me. Yeah, right? It'd be like Uber drivers pulling up to the border, pick someone up or drop someone off, and these guys rushing the car, being like, who are you? You don't belong here. Aren't you fighting for the fact of people belonging in the U.S., yet you are not allowing certain people?
The answer is no.
Yes.
First of all, I didn't take 9 months to get to the delivery zone, okay? And second of all, Fred Durst wished he looked as good as I do at this age.
Oh, another funny thing about the Chaz.
Also, I'm rolling.
The amount of stealing that is going on. People just taking other people's shit and being like, "Oh, don't get mad at them. Don't leave because we're all in this together." They're all open for free. It's just communism failing. It's hilarious.
Oh, wait.
What? Communism is what?
What?
No, and then there's communal gardens. There's communal gardens that I saw with a sign that says if you're not black or native, you don't get to take from this communal garden. I'm like,
yep.
Doesn't that defeat the point? Oh, and they ran out of food and supplies like the first week.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Give them MREs. Welcome to the suck.
Don't forget about the racism.
Never forget about racism.
Like, I understand. I'm all for what the point of it was, what the thought process was, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the riots, like just with anything, with all the riots. I understand what the point of it is in the protests. Then it turns into rioting, and I'm not okay with it. But I understand the point in the process, right? Police brutality and the justice system against Black Americans. It's bad. It needs to be fixed, and there needs to be an overhaul on law enforcement and fucking law altogether. I'm with that. But as soon as you start rioting, not for it.
Rioting is definitely bad.
When you take over a certain area to prove a point and then turn it into the shit that you're fighting against, it doesn't make sense. That's like someone, if after World War II, they're like, okay, Hitler's gone, the Nazis are gone. Yeah, but we still don't want Jews here, though. So I'm going to need you all to leave. Awkward. Like that would have been the same shit.
It's like,
what do you got, Ferd?
Weird,
what do you got?
Nope. I'm gonna
no.
Rico has something on his mind. Go ahead. Rico.
I'm just thinking of, like, obviously we're in the midst of all this reform that's currently happening. That's one drink. That's maybe half a drink. You could have two more. So, did you see any of the stories of like Atlanta where the cops they're not coming to work anymore? It's completely
after
lawless.
The Rayshard Brooks.
Yep,
the cops just stopped coming.
Yep.
That's for that situation in itself. That one's hard for me because I see where it escalated.
Yeah.
Very quickly. I think those dudes should have considered the current climate and maybe chased him for a block before unloading on his ass.
It's a challenge to figure it out because, of course, in hindsight, there's always ways to improve, right? One of my favorite sayings when it comes to like military and military planning is the best time to plan for something is at the beginning and the end, because it's the only time you can plan. So when something's done like that, and we're seeing the aftermath of it, of course we can then, backseat drive the situation and be like, oh, they could have done this, they could have done that. You weren't in that situation, you don't know, and neither do I. And I see it from the fact of when people are saying it's a non-lethal weapon. Yes, a taser is a non-lethal weapon. But what does a taser do? It incapacitates the person it's shot. So if Rayshard Brooks actually did connect with the police officer and incapacitated him, he now has a free weapon. That is a lethal weapon. So that's where
the cop's lawyer has already said. He has talked about that.
And that's why the police walked out. That is the main point. That it wasn't an over-escalation of force.
Is someone getting tased right now? Did we just hear that?
Yes, Cody's phone is tasing his microphone.
Good God! Is that what a tase feels like?
No. My phone is... It was
we have a presidential candidate coming up, and you are so
can't even put your phone away?
My phone was making no noise.
Cody's like, I have an American flag behind me. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, continue with your point, please.
So my point is, like, something like that, it's hard to figure out what should have happened.
Yeah.
Because with some of the situations, like I just watched a video of these several officers, they came up on a homeless man that was sleeping on a park bench or a bus bench, and they opened fired on him because he was refusing to comply with them, and they're standing 30 feet away. And they fired up. There was like 6 of them and one homeless dude. And he was like, no, fuck yourself. And like it looked like he was reaching for something, but they just unloaded, all 6 of them unloaded on this dude.
So
and
that's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. Yeah. Is exactly that. If a dude's reaching for something, I have no problem with a cop drawing his weapon, right? Yeah. There's no problem because they most of the time they come now, especially now. And that gets me back to something, but I'll roll back to that. But in this instance, I have no problem with these cops drawing their weapon, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going, I need to protect myself.
It's a show of force, and you're one step closer.
You're protecting yourself.
Yep.
And it's going like, hey, man, you need to stop reaching for whatever you're doing, right? Show me your hands. What do you think you're doing right now? I get that. That's been police 101 forever, right?
Yeah. But unlike that situation, there was 6 of them. 2 of them could have walked up, apprehended this man, while the other 4 provided overwatch and security.
Sure.
And as soon as you actually see a weapon, then fire. Not just on movement. Like, you can't be so
no.
Like, that's a situation that I feel comfortable backseat driving on. The Rayshard Brooks case is a little different.
Yeah. So that's a situation I would like to know more information about, because right now I've never heard about that until you told me that. So now it's like, okay, I want to go.
You're saying
research.
that it was unjustified because the shots that were fired that killed him were in his back, because it was as he was running away, he fired the taser at them and then was turning back.
No.
As he was turning back, the police officer drew and shot.
So Cody, I know all about that. The Atlanta one.
Oh,
I'm talking about the homeless dude who you're talking
the homeless dude. Yeah, it was
I've never heard about.
I watched the video. It was the body cam.
Like the body cam footage?
Yeah. So that one's very straightforward.
If that's the case, if there's no other situation, that's unbelievably. You just murdered a person.
Yes. And there's 6 of them. Like, the military has more ROE than they do. And that's an argument too. But so
I struggle to put this out.
Would you like to explain what ROE means?
Rules of engagement.
Thank you so much.
For anyone who's not military, and I've never deployed, none of us have, but we've heard from other people who have, our battle buddies who have gone. And when they're over there, they have a very stringent list of rules that if someone's coming up to them in a vehicle, there's 6 other steps that you have to do before even drawing your weapon. And like the 7th step is fire a shot near them to let them know that you can use lethal force.
I don't think you can do that on the civilian side, though. Like, as a cop, you can't just like pop a round off and then hope that it doesn't ricochet into something. So that's
but that's what Cody's saying, though.
Yeah.
Is they don't even have that many layers
No.
of ROE.
No.
Right?
So-
and he's saying
they got rid
we
of
have
immunity.
so many more.
Yeah, they got rid of a qualified immunity, which is one of the reasons why a lot of police officers are upset. And qualified immunity basically says that if they end up killing someone in a line of duty because they feared for their life, then it's justified. It gets kicked out of court immediately. It's understandable in a way, but it has covered a lot of unjustified murders just because the police officer felt threatened, like with the Breonna Taylor shooting. No knock warrant, bunch of police officers break in. She's freaking out, horrible. And they shoot her in her bed because they thought she was a threat. Did not shoot at the boyfriend with the gun because a bunch of people broke into his house. But they shot Breonna Taylor. And so
have you guys seen
under the current law of qualified immunity, they would all fall under of the threat to where they wouldn't be charged, which a lot of courts have been overruling.
Yes, I was just going to say that lately that has been.
Yeah, and it should be. It should be reevaluated.
Have you guys?
This is not supposed to be a police officer like.
Right. I mean, we're getting into current topic.
Yeah,
it's so like we're seeing these situations, but have you guys witnessed or seen the Daniel Shaver video?
Oh, no. Which one? There's so many different names.
Daniel Shaver. He was an exterminator, and he had a BB gun to shoot rats. Somebody called the cops on him.
Yeah, I've heard.
And this video was just upsetting to me because the cop was just absolutely ridiculous. I've got family that are in law enforcement, so I'm not against cops at all. This guy, if there's somebody that needs to be like held accountable, the cop that shot the dude, what was it, Officer Philip Brailsford? Take a moment to watch that video and think there's not, and if you think there's not a problem,
our screen sharing capabilities are down today.
Yeah, if you don't think there's a problem with escalation, regardless of race, then something's really wrong. Because this dude, he just didn't even take the time to consider this person as a human being, and just put him down.
I mean, it's
like forever.
Oh yeah, he's dead, dude. He was having the dude. He got him in the hallway of the hotel, He made him get on his knees. He wanted to fucking like, hey, you have to crawl to me on your knees while holding your hands up.
The police officer had like an AR platform.
Yeah, an AR-15 on or AR-15 style weapon. I'm not sure, but he had it on him the entire time, and the dude like fell over, and he just started. He was like, stop, and then he fucking unloaded into him.
Yeah, the dude wasn't reaching. It was a jerk movement, and the police officer responded in like.
Yeah. But at no point did they even like attempt to like go to the dude and see if he had a weapon or anything on him that they could be concerned about. They had rifles on the dude.
Was he by himself? Was it one cop with the dude, or was it multiple people?
No, there were two cops there, but it was the one cop that this Philip Brailsford. He was what you call it.
He was up front.
He was up front. He was
a trigger man.
Yeah. It seemed like he took the lead on that, and
that's what I mean. So you couldn't have been like, "Hey, man, keep your gun trained on him. I'm going to go search him."
Well, he could have.
That's what I'm talking. That's what I mean. That like,
which a lot of the videos that I've watched of when there's a shooting, there's distance from the victim and the police officers, and there's usually more than one, and so And I've watched several videos of they pull up on a dude. He's on the street. Like there's some reason. I'm not saying why they're there is unjustified because I don't know why they're there initially. Mm-hmm. But they spend 15 minutes fucking with this dude from 30 feet away behind their vehicles with all of their guns drawn. And this dude's like, lace your feet. And the dude's just trying to plead with them that he doesn't want to die. And they're yelling at him. Two of you motherfuckers need to walk up to him. This isn't ISIS. The dude doesn't have a grenade on his chest.
Yes. Like, that's
he doesn't have a suicide vest. He's a fucking drunk hobo.
Right.
Just approach the fucker. God damn. Well, I was less sketched out when I was a bouncer, and I'm a little fucking dude.
But I think that's right because the three of us all have training about like, oh, when you enter a building,
and it's mild,
and there's
mild training.
That's what I mean. We have training. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we drill on this every week. No, we don't. But we've drilled on it, and exactly that. And that's why when one of us is telling a story, the other two are going like, well, wait a minute, why don't they do this?
Yeah.
Because we have training on doing that, on getting a prisoner of war or something like that.
Yeah, it's very mild training, but it's enough. And they have more training than we do, or supposedly more.
Well, they should train on it more, right?
Well, and also, like, there's one officer.
How many medics are out there being like, well, if someone, crawls to you, make them crawl on their knees or something like that when you have an AR-15. One, not many of us carry automatic,
Well, yeah, but I mean, so there's an officer, and it's just they need more training. And people are like, "Oh, defund the police," and it's not. So defund the police. So defund the police isn't take the money away from the police. It's not get rid of the police. That's not what it means.
Lower
a lot
budgets.
of people are taking the name and going off with it. That's not what they mean. They mean lower budget and better training, which I agree.
Exactly. They want to redistribute where the money goes.
Yeah, and I'm not demeaning the amount of training that they already go through. They just need more. And I've seen several videos even before this all popped off.
Yeah, I've seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Police officers and they're rolling around on the ground with these suspects, and there's like two of them rolling around, and there's like two standing on the side. Like, do you guys not learn hand-to-hand combat? Like, the amount of hand-to-hand training the police officers should receive is they should be. And Officer Daniels, I believe he does a bunch of videos and stuff on Facebook. He's a huge component for doing more BJJ training with the police because a lot of them don't know how to do it.
Hey, Cody.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
There you go.
Oh, I thought it was a blowjob job.
Yep.
I thought it was a hooker with a stutter. Presidential candidate next week. Tune in.
But so they don't know BJJ. So what's happening is they're not capable of protecting themselves or protecting their partners because they're getting overwhelmed by suspects. And then also like the George Floyd situation, so the hold that officer was doing on George Floyd is a technique. He went and did it improperly and put it just on the base of his neck.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be across his shoulder blades at an angle, and your foot is supposed to cup around the ear to hold his head still. You're not putting pressure on the neck or the head, and you're across his shoulders. They can still breathe. It's not a choke. It's a hold.
I think you're focusing on the wrong thing. As someone, all three of us, we've all done combatives in the Army. We've all done, well, I don't know if you wrestled, but I know Cody has. How long is 3 minutes, Cody, when you're in a struggle?
A long fucking time.
It's a fucking lifetime.
It's 180 seconds.
No, it's not. Not in a struggle.
No. When you're on the ground in a struggle, 3 minutes is a fucking lifetime.
Fair enough. Yes.
Yeah.
So
in 9 minutes
is a fucking eternity. There was so much time where other officers could have just come in. They could have fucking put shackles on his feet and his hands, and he would have been fine.
Yeah, that was the main problem. So the hold was incorrect, but then the amount of time that they held on, and that's something like you were saying, for like we have some training, and me doing my martial arts background, me looking at that going, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And in some of the combatives classes when I was in Germany, we taught detainee ops because of different techniques and holds and locks and breaks. And so I've taught that stuff, and nowhere in there does it say, hold this man on the ground while he was handcuffed. He did have foot handcuffs on, or no, he just normal handcuffs. Mm. And there's 4 of you. Unless this man's on PCP, which obviously he's not because you got him to the ground.
Yes.
Then no, like we've all seen the video of the huge ass black dude on PCP, and they shoot him with 5 tasers, and he's like, fuck y'all. Yeah, be afraid. But George Floyd was not that. He was a large dude, but he was on the ground. You had him handcuffed. The damage he's doing is minimal. Once you get handcuffs on a dude, it's over. Yeah, it's done. Right. So you can give me The Rock. I'm going to handcuff him. He is no longer a danger to me.
The Rock is always a danger, 100% of the time. All right? Do you understand that?
No.
That man will give you the people's
I need
elbow.
very large handcuffs, but...
Yeah, you do.
Because I feel like The Rock would just be able to be like, pink. But it's a problem.
Call you a candy ass, and then he'll rock bottom you. And then,
he's going to ask you, "Did you smell what I'm cooking?" Because I worked really hard on this.
Yeah,
it's Alfredo.
He'll be like, "I'm 42 years old, but I still make references to 22 years ago."
But so it's a problem with training, and I believe in the movement. I'm with the movement. And sometimes they get out of control, but I don't believe that's the people who are fighting for this. It's the other people who get involved, and it's good. But then sometimes I think what's happening in some different places, and I think Atlanta is one of them, to where people are getting so up in arms about this movement, they're then just attacking everything as if it's racism and not just bad training or a shitty situation.
What state is the Grant statue in? That one got defaced and destroyed last night. Meanwhile, that was a leader that led to the end of the, fighting against the Confederacy.
Yeah, I don't know. In Seattle, they tore down a George Washington statue.
I saw the George Washington one, and then in DC, they tore down the statue of the only Confederate leader that was in the Capitol, and then they set him on fire and stuff like that. So I saw that too. I didn't see the Grant stuff.
The Lincoln Monument's fucking destroyed.
Really?
Oh yeah. They like the news isn't showing it, but I've seen pictures. The Lincoln Monument.
Oh, the news isn't showing it? Oh, that's interesting.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Well, so and like you have those people like taking down the Confederate statues. I'm a little torn because I understand what the point is, but then also as a historian, I'm on the side of not taking down history, but then you're projecting. It's a whole thing. But then you have the people that just shows that you have the people that don't understand what the point is. Because you have the people that are like, oh, take down the Confederate statues of, Robert E. Lee because he was a Confederate general. Okay, cool. And then you have the other fuckers in the background like, Abraham Lincoln was a fascist. And they attack the Lincoln Monument. And you're like, do you know things? You don't know anything.
This is why I was so afraid to talk about this on this platform. Because, there's so many opinions. And there's so many thoughts that I have about this. And I'm so...
Yeah. It looks like half his head's missing.
Who?
That's Lincoln Monument.
That's the Lincoln Monument.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Just destroyed.
That's the actual Lincoln Monument in DC today.
As of right now.
Oh, as of a couple weeks ago.
You're fucking
It was destroyed a couple weeks ago.
Anyone who did that, you're fucking idiots. You're fucking idiots. Okay? You're not standing for anything. You're fucking awful people.
It's just, and it's like I was saying, people, they have their platform and their point, and then they just get so up in arms. They're just
Those aren't the same people, though.
Everything.
Those aren't the same people.
No.
The people who
those
actually
are the people in the background who are fucking idiots. No, and like on that statue, it says #BLM. They've spray painted it on the Lincoln statue. For a fact, I can, in my own opinion, guarantee that not a single person actually associated with the Black Lives Matter movement did that. Yeah. No, because you have all these people who are just there just to fuck shit up. Like I said, they're like Robert E. Lee. He was a Confederate general. I understand that. And then you have that other dude that's like, fuck the dude in the top hat. It's just, it's asinine.
Just some hippie who's just like, I hate top hats. Fuck him. And everyone, yeah.
Yeah, and then you just have, it's just, it's dumb. It's dumb. But, I mean, it's going to continue, and then it's just more outrage.
It needs to get more educated.
And focus.
It needs to get smarter. Because anybody who defaces like that type of shit, like what Rico just showed me, that needs to stop now.
Yeah. No one's going to defend you taking down Christopher Columbus' statue. No.
Dude, that shit got destroyed already. It's
immediately. Oh, yeah, I saw it, and I was like, fucking finally. Finally. Fuck
but then you know the picture of the Santa Maria, though. What I remember from school, elementary school.
The man remembered fourth grade.
Yeah. And if you are watching this and you're like, oh, no, not the Christopher Columbus statue. We have an episode. Watch it. You're going to learn something.
Actually, that's when we were doing just audio. Listen to it.
Yeah. Listen to it.
Listen, love, share, like, subscribe.
Yeah, also do that.
The Robert E. Lee ones, and then, they're wanting to change the name of the post. And I know why you're cringing at the Robert E. Lee one.
You don't. I'm cringing about this whole conversation.
Yeah,
because there's so much I want to say.
I know you didn't want to get into this one.
I feel like I'm not allowed to say it.
So, and that's another thing about all of this. People are so afraid, not afraid, but someone like yourself, like hesitant. You have an opposing view. You are hesitant of
to bring
expressing a counterpoint because other people will immediately feel like you're an enemy, rather than that you just have a altering viewpoint. Let's get this off our chest. Firth is not a racist.
No,
he's not a bigot.
It's true.
He doesn't hate anyone for any race, creed, religion, sexual orientation, or anything.
I don't care.
It's hard to hate someone when you don't give a fuck.
That's also true. I don't care. Do whatever you. Can I share a personal story with y'all?
Please.
I'm going to try to keep this as broad as I can. So this morning I woke up and I checked my Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. And I have a friend who decided to come out online as bisexual. And I was like, super cool. It's Pride Month. That's when she decided. Her and I have had conversations about that. She has admitted it to me, but this is, I think, as far as I know, this is the first time she has admitted it to like the public and stuff like that. Cool. The bottom of her, like the post that she made online was something about like, I'm sorry. She felt guilty because she's making this admission during this time. And she's like, I still don't know what that, I still can't sympathize. And I'm sorry if I gave in to white supremacy. This is the most like peaceful person who's never had a bad thought in her life. And she needs to apologize for being white while she's coming out online. That's a problem. That's a problem. She does not need to do that. This is a big time in her life. Mm-hmm. Why does she need to apologize for being white?
So I think, did she say that she was apologizing for giving in to white supremacy?
No, she felt that she was apologizing if she has ever contributed to white supremacy, which she has not, because she is a wonderful person.
So I think she might have meant that by denying that she was bi for so long, she was perpetuating the image and like the control of LGBTQ shaming and stuff like that. That she was denying it for so long.
No, that's not what I got from that. I got that she felt.
Well, that was incorrect.
I felt the need that she was taking away. She felt this time
that she was taking away from everything else.
Exactly. Even though she felt that right now, or last night, or however time works, because I'm in Germany and you're all in the United States, that right now, her coming out, but with everything happening, took away from that.
So
that bothers me so much. So because she's a white female who's coming out to the public, and she feels the need to not only say that and apologize.
No, I have an issue with that. It's that over perpetuation of nothing is safe unless you agree with that side that now currently has the ground, and varying viewpoints aren't allowed anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm generally agreeing with that because I specifically have target counterpoints to that, but we're not going to get into that right now.
I'm going to jump in real quick. So we're like in a really weird time, right? So you have people just like that their entire careers are just ending over like things that they've done. So the one that pops out to me is Lea Michele. You might not be familiar with her. She was from Glee. She played Rachel Berry.
Oh, yeah.
And she recently lost all of her sponsorship deals and everything like that because someone called her out for microaggressions.
What is a microaggression, Rico?
I'm gonna give you one right now. It's such a weird.
Did you do something?
I am very progressive, and microaggressions upset me.
Did you do
There's
something?
Aggression.
What did you do?
That.
Did you look away from me? Hey!
So like a microaggression would be.
Hey!
So another microaggression would be if a black female was trying to educate me on something, and I rolled my eyes while she was speaking. Microaggression. Because I don't think that a black female should be educating me, a white cisgendered privileged male.
Let's just clarify that's not really his view.
Well, no, it could be the fact that I just think, regardless
cisgender means
of
what?
race or gender, that she.
What does cisgender mean again?
Oh,
a straight male.
I'm not explaining everything to the viewers. No shit or go.
No. You're explaining this to me. I don't like it when people say cisgender. I don't know what that means.
Just
the fact that
cisgender means
I'm a male.
It's one of the
127
genders, and I'm saying that facetiously. I know there's other genders. Don't fucking skewer me. I don't know how many there are. There's a lot, but it just basically means that I'm straight.
Yes.
Thank you, Rico.
Let's not get canceled yet, gentlemen. Let's get famous first.
Troll life.
Scissors.
Anyway.
Yeah, so
listen, so we're going to
cancel for microaggressions,
and people are just like losing their jobs. You guys are probably not familiar with Warren Ellis. He is a comic book writer, critically acclaimed.
Yeah,
and he
I've heard that name before. Is that Book of Eli?
It might be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is Book of Eli.
So he.
If y'all have seen Book of Eli, you're racist.
Because of Denzel Washington?
Yeah, he wasn't blind.
Yes, he was.
Y'all were blind.
So someone came on Twitter and said that he was grooming women, young women, and the main story that I heard is that he led a girl to believe they were friends for a couple of years, and then one day started flirting with her. So if you pick someone as a friend, you better stay friends, or else you're grooming.
So his charge is being friends with someone and then
deciding
to date them?
Yes.
I'll be right back. I need a minute. Talk amongst yourselves.
See what y'all are doing to Perth.
And so that's what I'm saying. We're in a very difficult time where people aren't. I don't know. I see that, and I get it. Sexual harassment, sexual assault, fucking horrible. We are missing a soldier in Fort Hood, Vanessa Gillen, right now, and I feel like it came out too late that there was a potential sexual assault. We heard this story for months that she disappeared, and then now finally her mother came out and said this. She had an incident. Alleged incident, because I can't confirm anything, obviously, but I feel like
that's something that should be forefront.
Yes, right at the beginning.
Yeah.
If we're looking for when Firth disappeared on,
Firth needed a minute.
He needed a minute.
Yeah, something's just it overwhelms him.
Yes, but it's a difficult fucking time, man.
Yeah, there's sexual harassment, and I saw a post today, and it was from a friend of mine, and I love him to death, but in a lot of his posts I disagree with. But one of it was, we aren't oversensitive. What you're saying is just racist, bigoted, and stuff like that. But I think there is a certain level of oversensitivity. If someone is saying a joke and it's sexist or racist, that's not being oversensitive. That's educating that person that they're saying an inappropriate joke in a certain situation. Like that's fine. But something like microaggressions. No, it's aggressions or passive aggression. Like if you're being passive aggressive, you're just being a douche. I have people that do that all the time. Like it's very passive aggressive, but you're just like, wow, you're kind of a dick. And you keep going. But microaggressions, canceling someone for it,
dude,
or jumping too hard on someone like they did with Johnny Depp, and it actually came out that he was the one getting the shit kicked out of him.
She tried to cut off his finger, man.
Yeah. and that's my point. People are jumping so hard preemptively.
Y'all need to stop saying the term microaggression.
Microaggressions?
You need to stop it.
Take a shot for every time you hear microaggressions.
I can't because my command does not allow it.
You're doing water so you can stay hydrated.
That's how you.
My water burns when I drink it.
That's how you keep from dying. That's what I hear.
This water.
So
yes, I think I don't know where the line is. I'm not going to sit here and be the dictator of saying this is the line.
No one does.
We're in a time where people aren't allowed to learn from their mistakes. Okay, The Flash, right? The dude that plays the elongated man.
Yeah.
He did a tweet where he said, "I don't want to say something because Al Sharpton will get on me," and another tweet where it was like, "I saw a boob today." He was fired from The Flash.
There was another tweet that said, "Women's place is only in the kitchen."
Like many dudes haven't said that joke, but this was also like 5 years ago. So
wait, that's a joke.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
All right,
thanks for watching.
Cancel the podcast,
and we're done.
But I think
your microaggressions are
sorry.
I think we're in a place where we're not allowing people anymore to learn from their past. People make dumb decisions like Firth just did.
Yeah,
and a year from now,
perfect example. I will have no.
And a lot of it comes from a place, and people immediately assume that they're full of hate. It comes from a place of ignorance and just miseducation. Like a few of the political candidates and people of Congress and stuff that back in their college days they wore blackface or brownface. That's because
pretty fucking horrible. They should still be canceled for that.
So. I don't know, because it's a massive place of massive ignorance and miseducation. They were in a time where it was perpetuated and it shouldn't have been. So we're not dismissing it. Let them know that it was incorrect. But
I had a friend.
Give them a chance to learn.
I'm going to disagree on that one specific one.
So I had a friend in middle school who was Martin Luther King for Halloween.
Okay.
He was a white dude, and he put shoe polish.
Well, I hope he never runs for president.
Yeah, he's never.
He's not going to. He's not going to. He's actually the current Virginia governor.
But I mean, like,
no. But I did.
But people go at.
But even then, when this in middle school, when you're in 7th grade and your white buddy shows up looking like Rico, and you go, "You shouldn't be doing that," and he goes, "No, it's cool, bro." You're like, "I'm uncomfortable. This is in the 90s." Okay, yes. Bill Clinton was doing whatever he wanted in the White House. All right,
these are on the Arsenio Hall show,
playing the saxophone on Arsenio. For all you younger viewers, Arsenio Hall used to have a talk show.
Yeah, they don't even know who Arsenio is.
Exactly. You'd be like, watch Coming to America. He's brilliant in it, and then he had a talk show. But I'm just saying, like, even then in the mid-90s and your white buddy did something, you knew it was not okay.
Well, yeah, but
everybody knows what
him
you're
as
doing.
Racist or full of hate.
No, he thought he was funny, and it wasn't funny.
That's what I'm saying.
Inappropriate.
It's from a place of ignorance and miseducation. Some of those people may actually...
Ignorance is the word.
It's a place of ignorance, and this point of conversation doesn't apply to the police brutality and any of that shit.
No.
And like the systemic racism in law and stuff like that. That doesn't apply here. It's this one specific situation of people over canceling people.
Yeah.
Because I've done some dumb shit, nothing like that. I've done some dumb shit in my past, and thank God the people that were in power at the time forgave me and gave me a second chance. Otherwise, I'd be doing this podcast from cell block C. Like
Firth.
Yeah. Although with like more rape. But yeah.
But they let me do it. That's what you think.
Like, thank God. I'm sorry. I said the R word. Thank God someone gave me the second chance that I needed. And I think with what you were saying, Rico, that you shouldn't necessarily jump at people for the past. At least give them a chance.
Yes, give them an opportunity.
Not that blanket, oh, I'm sorry for what I did.
Fuck that. No,
not that insincere, I'm just covering my own ass shit.
I don't feel over, like I said, I don't know where the line is, and that it's going to vary case by case, but I don't think you should kill someone's entire career for a teachable moment.
Yes.
That's
well
it.
Said. I agree. Well said.
It's just like
that's actually really well said.
Some of the people that have been, and I had this conversation with a very close friend the other day. You see it all across. I'm posting this, and if you don't like it, unfriend me. I personally don't find a reason to unfriend anyone that has a varying opinion, because if they're posting stuff that's ignorant and that you don't agree with, by you then unfriending them, they don't get to see your positive influence. So now they're just perpetuated with all of the shit that they agree with. So all they have is confirmation bias, and there's no varying opinion. Yes.
Fred Durst. I wish Fred Durst.
Hey, man, I just want to keep on rolling. Okay. So going back to my example, is the individual who made that post that I referenced earlier. She constantly is going like anti-Trump, right? I am not an anti-Trump person. And I have sometimes thought about it. It's just like, you know what? Maybe I just don't want this on my social media feed. So when I keep logging in, it's just like, oh, Trump did this. Good for us that we did that. We burned a statue down. Keep it going. And I just take a deep breath and just like, oh my God, do I really want to keep seeing this? But that's exactly what you just said, Cody. If you just keep turning that off, it doesn't educate anybody around you.
No, that's what Alex Jones did. Do you want to be like Alex Jones?
That's the important shit. No, nobody wants to be like Alex Jones.
Alex Jones is like Alex Jones.
I explained to my European wife slightly who Alex Jones was, and she was like, he doesn't sound nice. I was like, he doesn't sound nice to anybody.
Yeah. After the Joe Jorgensen interview, we're going to have Alex Jones on the podcast.
Could you 100%. Alex Jones, come on my podcast and prove to me you're not a piece of shit.
And that frogs are gay.
Yeah. Why are frogs fucking each other? Huh? Tell me.
But you're correct. And
I didn't hear when you were on the show with Joe Rogan. He didn't ask you the tough questions.
Yeah, right?
Joe Rogan?
And
he's afraid.
Thank you for
Are you afraid, Joe Rogan?
I think that a lot of people
every episode
they overreact. And they're like, I don't want this in my life. I'm canceling it and I'm getting them out and I'm unfriending them. And could you imagine doing that in like real life?
No, but there's so many people who do.
Because there's like toxic people in your life that you should get rid of. Like there's a difference. Like if you want to live a
totally
uplifting, positive life, like not partying and drinking, and you're surrounded by those people, cut them out.
If you're eliminating drug users and you're like, hey, man, I'm trying to quit drugs, and you eliminate those people from your life, that's fine. But politics is such a minor thing.
If your cousin has a Trump 2020 sticker on his truck, don't be like, oh, fuck this guy immediately.
No, you know what you go? You go to your cousin, you go, I hope that doesn't happen. And he goes, I hope it does. And you go, ha, 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 ha. And then you punch him in the nuts. Because I also hope it does. No, I'm kidding.
No, and this is what I explained to my friend. You go, why? And you have a conversation. And you let cooler heads prevail. As soon as one of you gets upset, it's gone. The conversation is over.
Cody,
like, people don't want to converse. People don't want to educate. They just
not anymore.
It's
been a thing. It's been a thing, I think, since Bush. I feel like it's been since W. Is when politics I feel like it started defined people.
It started with Bush, and then it really hit with the Obama election.
It definitely hit during Obama, and like now it's just gone out of control during Trump. But I feel like it started during W. I could sit down I forget when my sister got married, but I remember sitting down with my brother who disagrees with me completely on politics, and we were drinking whiskey and talking politics and having good political conversations from completely other sides, and having great conversations. You know, and and that doesn't happen anymore. And now everything is just like, oh, I think this way. And you're called a Nazi or a white supremacist or a liberal or
with the
Jesus
Bush
Christ, something
elections
worse.
In 2000 with John Kerry and Bush.
Yes, he was the second. He was 2004.
2004. Okay. So I remember with that one because I was a child. I remember it really not being that polarizing. Again, I was like in 6th, 7th grade, but it wasn't like it is now.
Okay.
It was people being like, oh, we have John Kerry and President Bush's second term. Like, how do we feel about that? And people would talk and converse, be like, oh, I'm going to go for Bush because, you know, I lean more that way, or John Kerry a little bit more this way. I remember that being in my own house in Idaho, conservative. That's how we roll. So, and then it perpetuated later on in the years that things were very more politicized.
So it's funny you bring up that election, because that's the election that I knew I was a Republican.
Because Firth was a part of the John Kerry campaign. He was the
he
was the social media manager inside telephone booth, calling everyone
for Kerry. Love John Kerry.
He had a bag of quarters and a telephone booth of dreams. And
and I just beat you over the head with both of them. Vote old Frankenstein. I remember, so during that election, I was in college. And I remember people talking about like Bush and just being like, people were calling him a Nazi, and people were calling him a warmonger and stuff like that. And I was like, no, he's not. And they're like, how do you defend it? And that's when I was just like, I don't see anything that this president has done as being like, not wrong, but like where he needs to be out of office. And I remember like, no, I think everything he's done has been pretty okay. And that's when I knew I was a Republican, because that's when I chose a side. So it's funny that you bring up that election, because I remember defiantly defending the Bush administration to like a bunch of friends in New Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, and Rico, you kind of tell me how you feel. And I'm always perpetuating this on the show, is we're not going to make people change their mind and some people just won't change their mind.
But, and that's okay.
Which is fine. But the thing is that changes things. Like someone can still have their opinion, but it's education and understanding.
Just listen, man.
Not being willing to listen or not being willing to be educated is ultimately our downfall.
It's ignorance.
We're leading to a
ignorance
situation.
Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is fucking dumb.
No, ignorance is what is it. Ignorance has us in this mess right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rico. I'm sorry.
No. It's. I mean, if you're like, fuck, dude. If you're just voting down the line, I'm voting Democrat or I'm voting Republican just because that's my party.
Mm-hmm. Or you don't want the other guy to win.
Yeah, it's that does nothing. We're still stuck. We're stuck. It sucks. We're stuck in this goddamn cycle of shit just not fucking changing, man. It's crazy.
And I've seen a bunch of memes because I have a bunch of friends that are in that middle libertarian line. I see the memes all the time of the two-party system, and we don't need a two-party system. I've said that for years now. If you are so far left that you are just going to vote left, you're an idiot. If you are so far right that you don't agree with anything on the left, also, you're an idiot.
Also, if you're so far left, you think Joe Biden is going to represent anything that you think, you're wrong.
No, as with both of those candidates on the right and the left, they are pandering to you. But they are pandering so hard. Joe Biden's over here like, I'm the voice of Black America. No, you're fucking not.
No, he's not.
It was on the damn interview he did with I forgot his name.
What do you say that if you don't vote for him, you're not black?
Yes, the God.
That's insane to me. Charlemagne the God.
Charlemagne the God. Yeah, I couldn't remember
if
the first part of it.
If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Who the fuck are you? Are you fucking kidding me?
What's that term called? Uncle Tom? Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, right? Yeah. I believe so.
I don't think it applies in that situation.
No, not in that situation.
Oh, no, you're saying what he's doing is calling people.
Saying that they're Uncle Tommy.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is fucking insane to me. How the fuck is someone going to say, if you don't vote for me, you're not black? I'm not saying President Trump is any fucking better, but both these guys are fucking assholes.
Yeah, that's what the last election was.
Yeah, and both of them.
Rico, that's the definition. Yes. This two-party system is defined by this last election.
Yeah, and both of them are just saying that if you vote for the other party, we're going to lose and the other guy's going to win.
And that's why I'm so bringing it back. By the way, presidential candidate next month. I'm so fascinated.
What did you think I was doing with this segue?
No, I understand.
Super fucking smooth.
I understand. That's why I'm so fascinated to talk to someone I'd really like to talk to her about this, is because if you remember the last time Gary Johnson was running like at 16% of the vote, of the general vote. And then people were like, oh shit, we should take this person seriously. And he was a fucking moron. Right? Yes?
Yeah, no.
Okay, just me.
His interviews.
No. I apologize. I'm actually looking up because fucking Joe Biden, he voted during the Reagan years, I believe, to increase the, let's say, militarization of police to get harsher on crime. But now he's completely fucking against it.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
I change, as you said earlier, don't always judge someone on the past. They can change. Let's not be hypocrites.
But these motherfuckers have been in office for forever, regardless of what office they've held.
Oh no, you're right.
Joe Biden has been in politics for the last 40 years.
Yeah,
and he has not changed any of this. No, because that's not true. And I'm not going to sit here and be the biggest defender, but Trump hasn't. He has not been in politics.
Well,
he's been out for himself and he's been out for business. And then he decided to go for it. But that's what I don't get, is everyone's like, oh, Trump did this, Trump did that. And then they're going to vote for Biden, who's been in politics for 40 years. He hasn't done anything. Trump's been in office for 3 years. And, systematic police violence is Trump's fault? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, you know who
head out of your ass.
Also hasn't been in politics for 40 years?
Dr. Joe, and that's why she's coming on to talk to us, all right? I can go from angry Tyler to advertisement Tyler very quickly.
This is 6 degrees of Tyler Firth.
I can do a whole lot. I am
Tyler
very talented.
The Fight Club the shit out of this.
2 drinks first, Sergeant.
Listen, all I'm saying is these motherfuckers that have been in office for fucking forever, that shit needs to be fucking done. They need to get the fuck out.
That's why
right.
there need to be term limits.
That was my big thing with
a lot of these right wings.
We'll talk. Big thing with Bernie Sanders. He's been in Congress for 60 fucking years,
and he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything except run for president.
And we're not just shitting on the left side.
He just takes your money.
Yeah.
They're all shitting on the left side. Mitch McConnell, that motherfucker.
Bernie wants to give everything.
He's been in forever.
Meanwhile, he's got 3 fucking mansions, a goddamn jet.
Yeah,
cocaine.
All of those motherfuckers on the right side.
I don't have a problem with Cocaine Mitch. I'm letting my politics side up, okay? I'm going to let my politics show. Hey, listen, I'll be honest. I'll let my politics show. Everybody who listens or watches to this show knows how I lean, and I will defend someone or I'll attack someone. I don't have a problem with McConnell. I don't think he handles everything correctly. He's super political because he's sitting there going like, as soon as Obama nominated the justice right before he left office. I don't remember his name. And he was like, nah, we're going to let the American people do that. But God damn it, if one of the justices died tomorrow, he'd be like, let's start the vote. Let's do it. Let's get fucking engine started. So I'm going to let my politics show here. I don't have a problem with McConnell.
But, I mean, it's one side. It's one side or the other. And I believe that most people, and even you, I believe we had this conversation. It wasn't while we were on Saha creating the podcast. It might have been another time, but and me and Fert talk about politics when we're out in the field and shit. We enjoy talking to each other about it. And I mentioned to you that you may be a little bit more libertarian than a fiscal conservative as you categorize yourself.
I think I might be by definition.
I think so.
So hold on. Let me bring up something. Yeah, we are going a little bit long, but let me bring up something. I consider myself a conservative Republican. I do. Mm-hmm. And that's because, and this is so insulting to the person who we're going to have on, but I want to bring this up because I like to win elections. And that's something I want to approach with this individual. That's the biggest question. You're a third-party candidate. How do you win this election? Third-party candidates don't win elections. People can sit there and go, oh, vote for Joe, vote for Joe, vote for Joe. And then at the end of the day, in November, they go, I don't want to waste my vote. Check.
Yeah.
That shit needs to get answered.
Yeah. I mean, that it feeds into itself because you have candidates like President Trump and Joe Biden consistently saying don't vote third party because they're
afraid.
Yeah, and they say voting third party gives vote to the other guy. No, it doesn't. It just takes a vote from you. You dumb fuck.
Yeah.
And it takes a vote from him. Like that's all it does. It doesn't voting third party doesn't take a vote from you so Trump could win.
Yeah.
Because if someone's voting libertarian,
the electoral college is going to do whatever they want anyway.
Yeah.
So
if someone asked Trump though about the Green Party, he'd be like, vote Green Party. It's fantastic. It has your better interest. Vote Green Party. And if someone asked Biden about the Libertarian, he'd be like, I don't remember what the Libertarian Party is.
Who are you?
Let me sniff you first.
Hey, I like it. We're all on the same page here.
Yeah, I mean,
hey,
you're going to tell you that your vote is wasted, but it's not because guess what? Maybe one of those two guys win and Dr. Joe doesn't win. Okay, but if we get enough people to vote for her and we show that there is an interest in third party, we are in the world of social media. We can get so much shit done that has never been done before.
That is the most.
Just her getting on Joe Rogan's podcast, alone, would increase her viewership and her voters.
Wait a minute. Did she go to Joe first?
Because she's going to. It's in the works.
Oh, but we're gonna have her first.
No. Hey, Rico, hold on. She's coming out first. You want to know why? Because we're the best podcast. We're number one, baby.
Joe Rogan.
Hey, Joe. How's second place taste? I've been watching a lot of wrestling lately. I'm sorry. And Joe Rogan's probably going, wrestling's fake, whore.
I mean,
he didn't drop the hula, but yeah.
It's super fun. Professional wrestling's fantastic.
But so,
it's escapism.
real quick.
Why isn't that good?
You want to know what presidential candidate Dr. Joe thinks about professional wrestling? Tune in next week around this time. I'm not going to ask her that question. That's embarrassing.
Do you think she's a Jake the Snake fan or
so my wife
Roddy
asked
Piper?
me today. She's like, so when
everyone's a Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper, 100%.
My wife asked me, she's like, so when you have Joe Jorgensen on the show,
yes,
you guys are going to be professional, right?
Yes.
And I looked at her and said, have you never watched the podcast?
This is a question I have actually. Did
there's
her
a difference
people
between professionalism and respect. And that's what I told my wife. Are we going to be professional? No, because that would be lying. We're not going to sit here and be like, so, Dr. Joe, how do you feel about the geopolitical situation between Russia and Ukraine? No, I'm going to ask her like a normal fucking person and talk to her like a normal person. Am I going to ask her some of the lewd shit that has been asked of me to ask her from some of our friends? No, I'm not. Because that would be disrespectful.
Yes.
Hold on, tag it in. Have her people sent like anything like you can't talk about this or that?
No, they said ask her anything.
I love her.
So I'm literally, I'm telling you all now, and I'm going to ask her. So look forward to this answer during the show. I'm going to ask Libertarian Presidential Joe Jorgensen, what would she rather fight? 100 duck-sized horses or a horse-sized duck? I'm asking her the fucking question because to me, I feel like that'll let me know what kind of candidate she is.
How? How does that let you know that?
Yeah. Also, I'm going to ask her, is cheesecake a cake or a pie?
If we interviewed Trump, he'd be like, it doesn't matter.
But also his people would send over a million things you can't touch.
Also true.
I'm going to
don't talk to him about ducks, horses, horse-sized
ducks, duck-sized horses.
No cakes, pies, and or cheese.
You better not fucking mention a tort.
You bring up Hillary and China. That's it.
So we're going to ask her.
If anyone brings up Hillary running China, the world will explode.
I think an important thing for a presidential candidate is to be shown that you're professional, but you're also human.
I like her already. She said her
no one to vote for a president because
that's what
again, look in the past, right?
That's what Clinton did with Arsenio.
Yep, Clinton, Arsenio Hall. I literally brought this up to my wife earlier today. They were like, oh, we're not doing good in the polls. Go in Arsenio Hall, play the fucking saxophone.
Yep.
Nailed it. What do they do with Bush? They showed him going to baseball games. They showed him on his ranch riding horses. They showed him all that stuff. And then Obama, what did they show him do? Playing basketball, playing with his kids, throwing the ball with for Biden. And his dog. Either way.
They showed him throwing the ball for Biden?
Yeah, they're running around the White House.
Go get it. And then he was like halfway there, and then he forgot where it was, and then he just went off to the right. He's old as fuck, and he has dementia, and we should make fun of it.
No. It's fucking horrible.
Both of them might. But
man, I don't know. A lot of my thoughts today have been like,
that's
where's
true.
the fucking line? It's like we got AOC that we don't really agree with, but she's a friend of the show. What up?
Not?
Her and who is it? Sarah Silvers?
Sarah Silverman.
We don't talk about her. I still feel guilty about what I said. I don't like it.
Good. It was terrible.
Listen, I'm a new Tyler. Okay.
In 8 months.
I don't talk about that. Yeah, I'm married.
Months. What happened?
Well,
I'm married.
We actually hit a year in September, gentlemen.
Oh wow!
Holy shit! Do we really?
Yeah.
Man,
we're doing good.
We've put some quality content out there. Like, share, subscribe. Joe Jorgensen coming on next week.
So
that's it. That's all you're plugging for the quality. Not hey. Sometimes we're funny. It's
we're the best.
Listen,
I only smell people that allow me to smell them.
Actually, that's false as fuck.
You don't get me canceled.
No.
I have recently learned from my mistakes.
Drunk Rico's logic thought process is if you are drinking with him in his proximity, you have consented being sniffed and or
that is
this 100%. Is why I have everyone sign an NDA the moment they enter my house, which you have just failed.
No, not true, because I had Thanksgiving at his house and I was kissed by you.
I'm a kisser. I'm a lover.
I know. It's true.
I also had a party at my own house and was kissed by him.
There you go. It's confusing, right? These screens are very confusing.
Yeah,
I don't know where you're pointing. Maybe you're pointing to a different guy. I'm feeling attacked.
So we are running a little bit long.
Yes.
It's not really. I mean, this is about normal time. But we didn't want to put out a super long episode. But
no.
We also didn't want to go super political, and we went super political.
No, this is fun. This is actually, for me,
yeah.
This is the most political I've ever fucking felt, because everything is just fucking crazy right now.
Okay. And I don't feel like we can't. So there's certain shows. So I watch the Fake Doctors, Real Friends podcast. It's with Donald Faison and why did I forget his name?
Zach
Braff.
Yep, Zach Braff. And they do recaps of the show, right?
Of course he remembers the white guy's name, because he remembers the white guy's name. No, I remembered the white guy's name. That's what I'm saying.
Kudos points.
That's how the internet attacks me.
Oh, yeah. But
so he's wearing a red hat.
They don't tackle...
I must say MAGA on the other side.
So they don't tackle politics on the show. Rightfully so, because they're doing it as... It's a Scrubs rewatch show. It shouldn't be...
Yeah, I'm aware, Cody.
Right?
Yes, we all know. We've all heard their advertising.
Bite you through the screen. I'm trying to make a point.
We've all heard their advertisements.
What's your point?
Every other podcast.
My point is that they don't go political, which is fine. We can't do that, I feel, as what we talk about, because if we purposely doing it, it's neglecting that. And it's almost as if we're afraid to touch it. So we should talk on this stuff. And the amount of shit that's going on right now, I don't think you can.
No. We're in fucking we're in the crazy time. The name of this episode is "It's the End of the World." Revenge #Revenge of the Mayan calendar. The world's supposed to end today or tomorrow. I'm not sure.
Calendars are hard.
It's a fucking crazy
technically
time.
What we lost 8 years when we switched over to the Gregorian calendar.
12 years.
Technically, according to the Mayan calendar, this is 2012.
This is 2012. Are you not hearing this? Did this news not make it to Germany? The world's going to end tonight.
Yeah, so we gained 8 years with the Gregorian calendar. So technically, this is 2012.
Might dominate Germany tonight. Feeling cute.
I'm going to bite all the Polish eye. Can I talk about
no. No Polizei were harmed in the filming of this podcast.
Yet.
I will let everybody who's listening and watching, so like all four of you know, that I was uncomfortable talking about what we talked about tonight, right?
Yes.
We've talked about this for multiple weeks. And I was like, hey, the internet doesn't give a shit about what some mid-30s white dude on the internet has to say about this. I would like to think that we handled it well.
Yeah.
Would you all agree?
Yeah,
well, I would think so. And we weren't afraid to say how we felt about it, which I think is important.
I held back a little bit because I feel like I was talking emotionally then. Yeah. And I didn't want to say anything that I would be like.
It's a very big conversation.
Exactly it. Yeah. Is people react emotionally. They go, oh, you're attacking the way I feel about something.
And when you argue when you're emotional and you're angry, you don't always say the most level-headed shit. Which is why, don't. Like a perpetual almost say thing the dumb in shit. Marriage counseling is if you are that upset and your blood is boiling, take a minute, calm down, come back and have the conversation. And that's because there's been points where I'm arguing with my wife, and one thing that I vowed to never do is call her a derogatory name because I don't feel like that has a place for it.
Yeah.
But there have been points where we're hot, we're heated, we're arguing, and I want to say something, but I don't because I don't actually feel that way. It's
you're
just
reacting
the anger.
Emotionally.
Yeah, it's the reaction. So it's the same way with all of the political stuff that's going on. And that's why keeping a level heads prevail.
But that's it. Cody, you literally just solved the problem. Is you're having an argument with someone who's disagreeing with you. And I want to have this emotional response.
Bring it, Ash.
And I
you want.
don't have that
You're being a
emotional
real baby girl right now.
I don't have that emotional response. And so I don't react emotionally. I react mentally. I react like, okay,
logically.
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
Fucking think like that, world.
So
yes.
Emotion shouldn't have a place in politics.
No.
It should be, but so there's it should be logical, but there is a point where logic overlaps with emotion.
Of course.
As in like murder and murder charges, right? That's an emotional response, not necessarily a logical response, because then you have ethics that go into it, and ethics is grouped with emotion.
Yes.
But there is a gap of it, but in certain places, yes, it should be more logical. And sadly, sometimes to make the people up on Capitol Hill that don't fucking listen, it takes emotional responses like the riots and the protests that are going on to make them listen.
So I had this weird thought probably like 30 minutes ago.
Okay.
We were in the midst of a conversation, so like I let it go, but now it just popped in my head because Ramball, good for you, thank you. Do you think that the current, obviously there's more than two parties, but the two major parties,
yes,
do you think that plays into a perpetuation or something like that of us versus them?
Yes.
Instead of like, there's just no
Rico.
Coming together.
Rico.
Yeah, because both of them, and that's the thing. So the reason why they have this perpetuation of individualizing and separating each other is because both of them, it's like when you have two people in charge of a group, or they're in a group, and both of them want to be in charge.
Yep.
And so what they do is they then demonize the other person, even though they honestly don't give a fuck about half the shit that they're pointing out.
Nope.
So because, and you can tell this by looking in the past and seeing that these two people used to hang out with the same fucking people.
It's almost like this is very appropriate for today's political climate.
Yeah, it's just like in the last election.
I'm just going to go ahead and shut up for a second.
Donated to the other party's candidacies. Our current shit. So they just want to be in charge. So they constantly shit on the other person and devise us. And then you're stuck having to decide between the two.
That's where we're at this point, though. It's it's just like, hey, let's go fucking the lesser of two evils. Let's go for something else.
Yeah, I really vote for the shiniest turd, and they feel like there's two choices for it.
Hey,
yes,
I have a say in this conversation. Okay.
Who is incompetent but means well,
we
and is a moral person or a competent leader with questionable morals.
I'm not watching that. So we had a conversation about this in the office, and
I'm going to go competent leader with questionable morals. I'd rather have a leader than somebody that can't lead.
Does it feel like there is a concerted effort on all parties to go, hey, it's better for all of us at the top to make people on the bottom fight with each other so that we stay where we are? Almost exactly what you said, Cody. Like, and I'm not trying to be like some conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but
it's not almost a conspiracy. It
almost feels like that's what I mean. It's political tactic that people are saying, if we make Democrats afraid of Republicans and Republicans afraid of Democrats, that means that the people won't be afraid of the government. People should always be concerned about the government. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Your concern should not be the other side. It should be the government. That's how the United States was started.
And you want to make sure that they're ruling you the correct way.
Correct.
And it's so systemic within the two-party system that they do it within themselves.
What I mean.
Look at the Democratic primary.
But
all of those people didn't like President Trump, right?
Yes.
But none of them could agree on liking each other.
Yes.
They have to fight and demonize each other. You're all fighting for the same reason because you don't like how the current administration is doing it. Can't you all just come together and be like, hey, this is my point. Hey, Joe, how do you feel about this? Well, this is my point. Hey, Bernie, how do you feel? Oh, this is my point. You vote how you feel, America. Vote for either one of the 27 of us. Right?
Vote for me, Rico 2020.
It's just
I feel like the political parties are together at a certain point, are together on it. And I hate to feel like a conspiracy theorist.
Well, they feed off each other.
So is the media, though.
Yeah.
The media feeds this shit where it's like, oh, did you see what this person says? What do you think about that? And they just fucking feed on the like hatred. They're just like,
that's almost because
the hatred.
You can almost stem that back if you look at where the media's funding comes from. The media channels, right? So like Fox News, it's known for being conservative. CNN is known for being liberal. And
they used to be center.
And if you look at how
they
media
used to be good. I wish CNN
look at who
good again.
Funds them and who owns their company.
It's funding and sensationalism sells, targeting a specific demo sells. I remember
it's internet clicks and shit like that. Yeah. I hate it.
I remember as a kid growing up in New York, and obviously I am a brown individual. And
what?
Man.
And they fucking like in that time,
Irishman with the last name O. Ramirez.
That's actually great. That might be my new
thing. The O. Ramirez.
That's his stripper name.
Growing up,
O. Ramirez.
Growing up in New York,
a point, Cody.
It was targeted. It was, if you're not, even as a kid that couldn't vote, if you're not looking towards the left in New York, then you're wrong. Now, this was when I was much younger. This was ages ago. I actually don't remember where fucking New York leans right now. Is New York
left?
Yeah, it's left as fuck, right?
It's
still left as fuck.
Northern New York is more conservative, right?
Yeah.
No, yes, but
the mass majority is down south.
So my point is, as a kid, before I could even vote, targeted as we got to push left, because if you're fucking a New Yorker or a person of color, you got to go fucking left. Then fast forward, I'm in the military, and we traditionally lean right because the military has great fucking years when we have a Republican president.
Yeah, well, I would say the military is, honestly, when you look at it and you recognize that the middle party, that a lot of the military kind of leans more libertarian.
Yeah, we're seeing that now
because you have a mix of the right and the left. So you have these conservative guys that probably came from super conservative families, and once they're around other liberal people, their views change a little bit. And the other way, you have people from super liberal areas. They join the military and they're around the old country boy from Arkansas, and they're like, you know what, guns aren't that bad. I fucking have one. So I mean,
guns aren't that bad.
Yeah, or and then you have some guy that grew up in the South, and they're like, grew up their entire life, then they learn that homosexuality is bad, but then they have their battle buddy all through basic AIT and at their unit who's gayer than a rainbow, and that dude's with their best friend. I mean, I'm saying what I said. I'm owning it.
It's fine. I don't give a shit.
If you get upset at that, fuck off. There's no pleasing you.
Well, there's no policing anybody because we're in Chaz.
Everyone, look, we just lost somebody because of that.
Rico.
What's up?
Rico, I have a question.
Yes.
So when you were saying you were younger and you were being told to like look left, right?
Yeah.
Why?
It was just because and when I was a kid, and I remember this specifically, it was because if you wanted to be like, oh God, how do I put it without being a fucking asshole about it?
No, be an asshole because I'm fucking fascinated by this because.
If you
whatever you say, I would love to hear about.
Now, keep in mind, this was the fucking the 90s. I'm sure.
Yeah, this is the second time the 90s have been brought up, and everyone's just like, "Hey, this was the 90s. Shit was weird. It was 30 years ago. Back the fuck off." Go ahead, Rico.
It doesn't mean that it was okay.
No,
that they were like that, but they were different.
But it was different. Okay.
Basically, it was look left. Unless you want bad white people to be in power.
No, and so it's the same way growing up where I grew up.
That's okay.
If you want your religious views to be respected in your Second Amendment, go to conservative. That's how it is over in Idaho as well.
And so I can just clarify real quickly. This wasn't in my family push. I just noticed neighborhood, community wise, school wise, even in the public school, mostly public school. I'd actually say for the sake of this conversation, this is where it was pushed.
Well, I think for community, they feel like they're correct pushing it.
They were saying that if you don't vote Democrat, an old white man is going to take office and put you into steerage.
Yeah, because I mean, back
and
then,
now the Democrats have voted the oldest white man in office, and they're going, "Hey, he won't put you in steerage, though. Don't worry about it, because he won't remember what black people are."
Oh man,
it's a tricky time. It's a tricky time, and I think the thing that will change it all, that will help alleviate a lot of this that's going on, is understanding. Don't write someone off because they have a varying political view.
Cody, that's that. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know if that. I think that time's passed.
So it is, and that's what's wrong about it. People don't listen on either side, and they need to, because so. And right now, it's the left side not listening to everyone else. But then if you just alter your view just a little bit to the over here, you can see the right side doing it too. And they all have their moments in the sun of just not fucking listening. It happens all the time. And that's how these big things happen. Just no one listens to each other. There's no compassion. There's no understanding. I'm not saying empathize. I can't empathize with Rico with experiencing racism, or any of my other black friends who have experienced racism. I can understand.
No.
I can understand.
No.
Are you telling me you haven't experienced racism in your life at all? Just because you're white? That's fucking bullshit.
No, I have, but it's
you have.
It's different, is what I'm saying.
You've told me.
So I have experienced racism, but it's a different level. It's more of an assumption rather than I haven't been pulled over because I'm white. I haven't been held down and assumed that I was a criminal because I'm white. It's a different level. I've been assumed that I'm racist because I'm white. But so it's a different level of racism. So I can't empathize with people who are talking about police brutality because I've never had to experience that. I grew up in Idaho, 90% white. And I knew the cops. And so I didn't have to worry about it.
They were like, hey, you're not a potato.
Yeah, but I have been pulled over and them questioning my Mexican friend in the car more than they're questioning me.
I want to hear the joke he had. I want to hear that joke. God damn it.
Here's the real fucking joke. Fucking Joe Biden, 77 years old. By the time he's in office, he'll be 78 if he gets fucking... Do you trust your 78-year-old anything to do anything?
When he finishes his first term, he'll be 82. They took away my grandmother's driver's license when she was 82.
Hold on. What's really funny is when McCain was running for president against, I think it was against Bush, and it might have even been against Obama. Then the first time they brought up his age, and they were like, "How is this individual? How is he going to serve? Is he going to live his term? Is he going to be okay? You know? And do you really want Sarah Palin?
Yes, he would have been fine.
Do you really want Sarah Palin to be president? And the answer to that question is fuck no. And also, McCain would have outlived us all. All right, if he didn't put those smear campaigns, and he would have been fine.
Donald Trump, right now, birthday 6 days ago. President Donald Trump, 74 years old.
And how old's Biden?
Biden is 77.
They're too
Sorry,
old.
Dr.
Here's
Joe.
the thing.
Dr. Joe's got some good years left in her. She's 63.
I understand. And I'm just bringing this up right now. And I get it. But Biden, I have met people. I am 35 years old in the Army. I have met other 35-year-olds in the Army. And they look at me and they go, oh, interesting. That's what a lifetime in the Army doesn't do to you. Because I don't look 35. And they look 45, okay? You look at Joe Biden and you look at Donald Trump, and do you think they have the same cognitive capacity? This man spurts off the top of his head. He's funny. He's witty. He makes comments. Joe Biden forgets where the fuck he is. And I'm not sitting here.
I can send you some shit on both sides where they're both.
I'm not sitting here as this political campaign for Trump, but I am saying if you're talking their age, one man is just mentally there. He's quick.
He's a salesman.
Why did I just hear this moan in my ear?
So because I've seen videos of him out there, and a lot of the time on the news they only show certain parts. He has difficulty with words just as much as Biden does.
No, he doesn't.
Dude, it's rough. No, I've watched.
He does the same thing that I do, and he goes. I'm thinking of the word bite, and he goes, "Oh, I can't think of the word bite. I can't think of the word bite. Mall." And he thinks of the next best word, and I fucking love it. Meanwhile, Joe goes, "I'm thinking of the word bite. I'm thinking of the word bite. Lips."
Those are adjacent. They're both old, and they're both just not there. There is that, but
that was the most appealing thing about Obama. Is Obama was this young dude.
He was one of the most presidential, like with the word. He was one of the more presidential candidates.
I don't think there's been a more disappointing president than Obama.
More disappointing?
Yes.
Whoa.
I think because I am this staunch right-wing Republican conservative, and even I was just like, you know what? Yeah, let's hit the reset button. Let's go for this young dude who's barely been in politics. He's been a 2-year senator, and he was a community manager in Chicago before that. And let's vote him president. And he fell into that Washington trap immediately. I think Obama's been the most disappointing president.
I wouldn't say he fell into it immediately.
Was he a casualty of
Oh my God.
Was he a casualty of the two-party system, just people fighting against each other? Because everybody wants to go in there and make changes, but then you've got the this versus us versus them completely changing everything.
Well, it's just so think about it this way. When you see it happen in the military, right? You see that specialist, and he says, I'm not going to be this way. I'm going to change this within the platoon and the unit or whatever the fuck. He gets promoted, and he gets stuck in that bureaucratical bullshit that we all have to do to get shit done, and then nothing changes.
And then he's just there sipping a fucking Monster with his hands in his pockets while fucking E4 and below are packing TCMC sets.
Yep, and he's doing the same shit. And they're looking at him like, he's changed.
I don't even know what TCMC stands for. And you go, fucking pack it.
On that note, Cody, do it.
So, basically, so we're getting done. My family's got stuff to do. My wife's got to do homework because she's trying to get smart and shit. And I'm trying to get a sugar mama, so I got to let her do her homework. Oh, yeah. No, daddy's trying to ride on the petticoats. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to be in the National Guard doing my bachelor's degree, doing nothing. That's what
I'm trying to do Uno full time. Shit Bear. Hey, make that master's work.
But
I have a European
in the
wife.
end, so please, if you made it this far, I doubt it. If you made it this far,
you're welcome.
Just subscribe and support. So next week, Saturday, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, we are doing our interview with presidential candidate Dr. Joe Jorgensen.
Woo!
It is going to be epic.
We have a half hour, correct?
We have about a half hour that she's going to be able to give us.
But she hasn't set a writer yet that says that we can't ask certain things, so that's great.
They haven't sent me anything going to be. So send us your questions, and you can send your questions either by underqualified and overcompensated, and that's underqualified, the letter N, overcompensated at Gmail, or you can go to our Facebook page, which you're already looking at, and click the messenger button and message us directly. Don't find us in the motor pool because we're not going to remember. Okay?
Don't find us in the motor pool.
No. Send us your questions. We'll comb through it. We want a huge list of shit. And then we will ask her, okay? We want educated questions. If you just have a kind of funny questions, 100 duck-sized horses, ask that too. Explicit shit, we're not going to ask her. You fucking
no, heathens. You weirdo. Stop it.
Right?
She's a presidential candidate.
Yes. we're going to treat her with respect because that's what she deserves, right? She's made it this far. Yes. She's obviously a very intellectual and esteemed person, and then we want to treat her as such.
Yes.
We also want to treat her like a person.
If you're going to start posting stupid shit, I will kick you from the channel. I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
I'll be viewers.
But tell all of your friends, tell your family members, throw it out there, like, share, and subscribe. We have gotten a mass amount of increase.
It's going to be
just
so
within
fun.
the last week, I think we've had a total of 30 or 40.
I'm really excited.
Yeah,
I'm really excited. Not
doesn't
just
seem impressive to other podcasts, but for us, 30 to 40 people within a week.
That's how you get kicked, Rambo.
Fucking great.
It's going to be so much fun. We're going to talk to an actual intellectual person. You know, the last person we talked to was Vickers, and he's garbage.
No, Joe is after Vickers.
He's even worse. Oh my God, he's even worse garbage. Joe, you're trash.
Not libertarian candidate Joe Jorgensen.
No. She's fantastic.
Joe.
No. Other Joe. Joe.
Yeah.
Joe Biden? Fuck Joe Biden.
No, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
remember me.
We had former Vice President Joe Biden on.
Did you? Yeah. You don't remember?
Yeah, you remember that.
Listen. Obviously, a septuagenarian is the best choice to run the country.
Yes.
So, please like, share, subscribe, throw it out there. Rico has been blowing us up on all of these libertarian pages. Please do the same. We want to get
for those that are pushing us. It's like you're not connected to it, but you want to get this interview out. So thank you.
Yeah, we want to get as much word for it, and it's because we're excited for this candidate. It's not just for the publicity that it would give us, obviously. That's inherent. It's for her voice. We want to get this episode out. If you just watch that episode and don't watch anything else, our job was done. That was it. That's a part of what this podcast is, to bring education and information to people.
I also want our podcast to get more popular.
Yeah,
so do I.
If you listen to it, come back.
if this podcast leads to her getting more votes and actually being a large voice in this presidential running, then great. And I'm saying this is a person who hasn't looked into her all the way, and I'm not backing my vote behind her at this point.
Nope, me neither.
So
it'd be
cool.
More. Here's what was
sold already.
I'm almost there.
I want her to have a booth at these national debates when they happen. Put her up there.
I keep seeing it. It's so weird. They have to have. She has to have 50% of the I guess the mind share, to get into the thing. But then she's gonna have 2% of something else. It's just like built.
They make it obscenely difficult.
It's built to keep other parties out.
Oh, we're not gonna get into this.
It's a whole thing. It's almost 2 hours. So
you are correct.
And subscribe. We appreciate it.
It's bullshit.
Stay tuned. We're gonna be exploding this next week. To let you guys know. So
I will post every day.
Myself, I thank you guys for listening. I hope we at least made you think. That's our goal. If we can make you think,
informed decision and make better choices in your life.
Yep. Don't go on emotion. Don't go on hurt.
Be a Republican and vote for Trump. Don't do any of that.
I don't hate him. I just think the country would be.
I'm kidding. Don't do any of that. But
seriously, under a different leader. Just
so I'm with you. There's better options. So I'm not one to say someone is a shitbag except for one singular person that may or may not have been promoted to staff sergeant. That one singular person.
I just want to call out one person.
I just want to call out one candidate. Fuck Joe Biden.
Hell yeah, Rico.
So, blow us up. We'll blow you up. We will perpetually just build each other up and try to be better all together. From myself, thank you so much. From my cohorts of knowledge and mediocrity, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.
We're not done yet. Don't say anything bad.